Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Southdown Garage. My name is Kurt, and today's episode we're back working on the G. We're turning it into a drift car today. If you've watched the previous videos with this, if you haven't, wait till the end of the video and then go watch them. But we did a 6-speed swap in this thing. It was pretty ugly. I never really finished a 6-speed. So I mean, I've got a shifter that sits way below the deck because I couldn't find the manual transmission center console. And I'm still using the factory foot e-brake. So you can imagine how well that works for drifting. So what we're doing today, we're gonna finish off that 6-speed swap by putting these nice parts. I got it from Amazon. So here's a shifter boot, a shifter knockoff that says Bride, and then this is a cover that will mount to the shifter assembly, and then to keep the hot air and sound and everything else out. And then we can put this on top and then put the shifter in. Obviously probably do that the other way around, but you get the idea. The other thing that we're doing today is we're welding the diff and we're putting a Hydro Ebrake in. And no, we're not putting dual calipers on. That's way too expensive. I have to find alternate ways to enjoy working on cars, and it's not about always spending money. So I do have a Hydro Ebrake setup, pass through. It's pretty nice. Someone damaged one of the fittings. I finally found my other pass-through master cylinder. So I'm gonna swap that fitting in, and then we're gonna mount it inside the car. I'll also show you that part. So what are we doing? We're finishing out the 6-speed swap. We're putting a Hydro Ebrake and we're welding diff. And we're leaving the ABS block in. We're just swapping the lines around. I watched a really helpful YouTube video and I will post his link in the description. So thank you for your very informative video. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into it, get the car on the hoist, get it up in the air, take the diff out, and we're gonna weld it. So what are we doing now? We're actually cutting out a piece of metal so that we can weld it into the diff. But first we have to cut the piece out before moving on to welding the diff. Now that that's done, go ahead and start your torch up, if you have one, and try to warm up the gears. The reason we're doing this is so you get better penetration, and so that when it cools, it won't crack as easily. Now go ahead and place your piece of metal in and start welding up. Now that it's done, heat again and try to cool down the metal over a period of time. If you have a heat blanket, this will work the best. Of course, if you don't have this method, this is the first time I've done it and I've welded a diff 3 times. You just may break. That's the risk you take. Okay everyone, so we've got the diff welded. It's all together here. Now we have to clean up the cover and throw it back on. Then we can throw it back into the car. Let's get this together. Then we got to pull, then we got to put the diff in. We got to fill it with oil first, put it back together, and then we'll throw it in the car. And then we can start with the stuff that's inside the car to get it as close as possible. Because if I am doing very little bleeding and stuff like that tomorrow, I will be such a happy person. But I've got to fix the emergency brake on the one side, and I've got to mount the emergency brake inside the car. So, you know, I've only got 6 million things to do and no time to do it. Okay, the really fun thing to do is to hook up your lines wrong and then have to spend a bunch of time fixing it. Because what's better than fixing your mistake the first time? Fixing it the second time. Well, technically I didn't make a mistake the first time. All I did was got dyslexic, swapped the in and out on the master cylinder. Why? Because that's how I hooked it up on the other one. The master cylinder was facing the other direction. I was pulling towards it. Now I'm pushing into it. I'm not the smartest person in the shed, but hey, you know what? I'm handy. That's all that matters. So now we get to fix this line here. We get to tee into this one because I broke it, because I swapped them over. I tweaked that one. I thought I recorded it, didn't. Good thing I checked. And now we're going to fix this. So we want to find where this thing is going to bottom out. Right there, and then we're going to crimp it. But first I have to make sure. Oh, you dirtbag. This is really fun. Whoever said making brake lines on their vehicle was fun is a little psycho, because it's not fun, but in this case it's necessary because I screwed up and I get to do it again. Learn from your mistakes, don't do it twice. Oh, you know what? I can't do it this way, I have to. Okay, this is gonna be really fun. I'm glad you guys came along for the ride. I'm sure you're super happy that you're here for the ride too. So let's get this. Oh dear. I'm gonna make my life miserable for nothing. Let's see. Oh wow, it's perfect. All right, so let's tighten this. Let's tighten that down. Sorry, YouTube world, for making this so hard to see. There we go. Okay. What's nice about this tool is it flares it properly. I just have to make sure. Okay, that's it. Bottomed out. Don't ever over torque this or you'll snap that piece off inside. Then good luck, because it'll be like, oh, I've got one more to do, and it's just like, no, you don't. You're done, buddy. You are done. Okay, so we got the nice little flared end in there. I did this one first because the other one is going to be a touch easier. Okay, so I'll try to stay out of the way. That is all, folks. So that's one's done. See how painful that is? So good. Technically, I should have taken this line out. You're probably like, why didn't you do that? Because getting that line in there was a gosh darn nightmare. So this is less of a nightmare. I will rather do this than do that. Now I get to do this. And once that's done, I'm gonna put the unions in and we can have a merry old time. Bop, 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 bop. So we're doing this a little bit in reverse because obviously I got it done. That's the important part. So I gotta try to get this out. Oot. It's really tight in here. I looked through the footage. I realized I didn't show you guys any of this stuff. So that's on me. Now I gotta go back and try to explain what I did and show you guys what kind of a mess we have here. But you know what? It kind of looks professional. Well, I'm sure someone's gonna disagree with me, and that's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work, right? So a little bit excited about that. I got this wicked gangster lean going on back here. Oh, I need a longer screwdriver. Uno momento, porfa gracias. So one of the things you want to do before you go drifting is you want to make sure that you back your seat all the way up without testing to make sure that it can back all the way up and then go back into position. Okay, right? That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that's all taken care of. Perfect. All right, let's get the center console out and then I can show you the goods. I have done nothing to cover this transmission, which I really want to do, so I'm probably gonna have to take this off. But that won't happen this episode. It's gonna happen next episode. So here, I'll show you what we did. Good thing that's under the car. So we've got this shoved all the way in to under the car here. Maybe I'll grab this camera and I'll show you. So everything is pushed way back in here. I've got a couple of bolts here, one here and one on the other side, holding it in. There's another bolt. It's not actually in anything. It's just sort of sitting there, and then we run this bolt here through here, and this has all been bled a million times, might I add. So that's been fun. Once we got all this done, it was easy enough to just bolt everything together. That's together there. We put the nut on, and then I can go under the car and find the missing washer. And one of the things we also had to do is we also had to make a cutaway in this to be able to fit
the handbrake. So I'm gonna make another one of these. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it so it only comes back about this far. Then I'm gonna mark it out. I'm gonna cut out the other piece, and that way I'll have a nice shifter area. This I sort of hacked to pieces to make it work, because again, like I said, I was using the automatic. And then I'll have to deal with this next episode because I don't have the time to do that today. Anyways, so that's the Hydro Ebrake setup we have here. Let me just tighten this up a little bit here, and I can make myself feel much better about being safe. Okay, but now you know Hydro brake is in. We drilled a couple bolts in here, had a lot of fun because I had to come underneath the transmission to mount this, and then we could get this going. And I had to bleed this so many times, and I gotta say, if I had the money, I wouldn't do a pass-through master cylinder, and you'll find out why later in the video. And we're at the track with the Infinity. Had to bleed the brake a bunch of times. I don't know if this is gonna work, but anyways, I'm gonna take it out on the track. We're just getting ready for our first run of the night, past Tech, flying colors, and we're just gonna go out and hopefully drift. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to with this thing. I'm a little rusty, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping not to loop it a bunch of times. We'll see. Okay, get out there. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of Southdown Garage. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any more content. And if you're looking for more G35 content, we've got another video coming out next on G-Tech suspension and finding out what all the whining is about in our transmission. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care, and we'll see you in another episode of Southdown Garage. Bye for now.